Guys, welcome back to the Waffle headquarters. Yes, I'm here and I've got a guest behind the stage ready to come on. But yeah, we're going to be reacting to Man United scraping past Villa to strengthen their Champions League hopes for next season. And also going to be talking about how Man City have gone back to the top of the league as well with their win against Fulham. But before I get into the content, please hit the like on the premise that the video will be good. And if not, you should feel guilty for not donating something that's free.
You motherfucker!
But I've got my man Josh behind the scenes. How are you doing, my friend?
Nice to see you. Nice to be back on the channel.
Of course, good to have you on. I'm going to see you in the comments already. Got my man Football Power Hour, whose show I've been on before. Subscribe to Football Power Hour. Has always got the jokes. Already asking the question, top 4, will we be there? I think we're going to get into that, but let's just get into some of our thoughts about the game. I mean, I'll start off. I mean, it's like, just seems to be the usual stuff at home where you can see Ten Hag's formula is being worked on, right? We see the high press. We see the fluidity or the attempted fluidity in the formation where it basically goes to 4 at the back, right? It goes to 1 holding midfielder with Casemiro, and then the other 4 midfielders go in front of Casemiro, and they go into like a. They don't really seem to have like a triangular positional thing about them. They seem to be in a straight line, and then they go and try and support the forward. I think they're still working on like getting the triangular passing going, if you know what I mean. It just seemed a bit disjointed in that first half in terms of linking up the midfield and then playing the right balls into like. I mean, Rashford was making some dynamic runs, but it just didn't seem like we have a good balance of people coming towards the ball when like Casemiro's got it, and then people running in behind. It seems like sometimes there's too many people running in behind. I don't know if what are your thoughts on like the high press system, Josh?
Yeah, we did pressure Villa well in the first half. Villa did have their chances, but I think we were tenacious. I think obviously Harry Maguire staying at the team is very important.
I don't think we're missing him, man.
Yeah, Luke Shaw's really stepped up as centre back. Obviously, Casemiro being there, probably the most important player for our team.
I think he was back to like proper destroying ways, man. I liked him today.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised he didn't get a booking though. There was a few challenges where I was thinking, oh no, you might be getting booked again. I mean, people have said in the past, seems like he's been kind of new to the bit because of like referees giving him yellow cards that have been like debatable. Some of the red card decisions have been debatable as well. So that might have like, made them soften up a bit. But today, guy was destroying, man. Did you have like a man of the match that do you think anyone was man of the match on Man United side?
Well, yeah, like you said, Casemiro was destroying, so I'd have to give it to him.
Yeah, Casemiro was good. There's something about Rashford as well. I got to pick him out as just like one of the standout performers. Those runs he's making in behind. I mean, we should have scored more, but maybe he needs a bit more help up front as well. Like I was thinking, with the high press, I think we should get like the fullbacks to take up more of like the lateral positions. So like people like Sancho can get nearer to Rashford and can be like on the end of some of the through balls. I thought Eriksen. I don't know about Eriksen today. I mean, it was kind of. I compared them to like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There were some passes that were getting through, some of them being given away. I'm not sure about Eriksen. What are your thoughts on Eriksen?
Yeah, he didn't have his best game today, but over the course of the season, he's definitely added a lot of quality in the midfield. But yeah, today wasn't his best game. In terms of the fullbacks, the point you made about the fullbacks pushing forward, I think obviously you need the right personnel. Also, for that to happen, they need the right attributes to be able to do that effectively. But Rashford, he made a lot of good runs. If the balls were better, more quality on the through balls. I think he had that chance where he put it just wide, but he was offside. I think aside from that, a lot of the passes had too much on them, or weren't in his path as they should have been. So just needed a bit more quality on the passes today.
Yeah, it needed more quality. What do you think about Sancho as well? He scored in his last game against Spurs, so I thought his confidence would be up. But he was against Ashley Young. I think he's like, what is he, 35? He's an old fullback now, right? He's one of our. Yeah, I thought Sancho should have been ripping him up, man. You should have been putting Ashley Young on a Zimmer frame. You should have been retiring this old guy. I don't think it was dynamic enough against Young. What do you think?
I think he's playing a lot better than what he, was, before he had the break and last season. But yeah, he ideally you'd want him to be more aggressive, take more chances, take more risks. Especially as like you said against an Asian fullback like Ashley Young. He's hardly playing, Reece James or Kyle Walker, is he?
Yeah, exactly. Big up to Matthew Bassett in the chat. Thanks for getting in here. I hope you've hit the like. Everyone keep hitting the like. It's free, as the banner says at the bottom. Yeah, so it seems to be that's the case all the time, where Man United are not taking the chances. I mean, in terms of Villa's play, they were a bit stubborn in the first half, right? They had some counters, but it seems like they do isolate that Ollie Watkins up at the top. I've got to say, big shout out to Lindelof, man. I mean, you were saying just before that Maguire not missed today. Lindelof, I thought he was a faster version of what is called the slab head. Lindelof was getting his head on certain crosses that were getting put into Watkins, and he was making good clearances. Do you remember late on in the second half where Douglas Luiz had a chance and Lindelof literally cleared it off the line with his head?
Or Buendia.
Was it Buendia or was it Douglas Luiz?
No, I believe it was Buendia. Yeah, and that great clearance. I think the thing with Lindelof, he seems like a player which does ride off confidence quite a bit. So if you compare his performances when he's alongside Varane or, in this instance, Luke Shaw, he had a really good game, he does seem a lot more confident. When he plays with Maguire, he seems like he's completely devoid of confidence.
Yeah.
Error prone. Definitely.
Yeah, it seems like people have to cover for Maguire. Like, people start to panic because Maguire can't pick up any runners because he's not agile enough. And like what I saw is, like, if Lindelof's caught out of position, Shaw's right in there with the recovery. If Shaw was out of position or doesn't get the tackle, Lindelof is getting around because he can actually run. Maguire, where you see him after, he tries to look good with playing the ball out from the back when it's all slow, or when he's defending, it's mostly clearing with that slab head. You know what I mean? With Lindelof and Shaw, they get across the ground, they can tackle with their feet, they can play out from the back quickly, make decisions more quickly. So it was great to see that, man. It's weird how we've had to wait for all these injuries to see like another good partnership between Shaw and Lindelof, because Maguire coming in there. Some fans will say Maguire's been all right when you play next to Martinez. He's got a few clean sheets, but then I just think Martinez has had to cover for Maguire a lot,
I think, I think with Maguire, I think, United fans unanimously agree. Even the fact that Luke Shaw, who is originally a left back, has been preferred to Maguire centre back. He's clearly out of favour. Ten Hag understands he doesn't have the quality to play for Man United. So hopefully it can be a clean break for both parties and get him sold off. Sold off at the end of the season, because he's not able to play.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get sold off, because I was speaking to another Man United fan on another stream, and he was saying because Maguire is captain, there's certain stipulations in his contract which require him to still be captain and still get a certain amount of games. But by the fact that we've seen him not play today, shows that maybe Ten Hag's maybe overriding some of these contractual obligations, So
I don't know the truth behind that. I guess I don't know if you can know the validity of a contract. Are they? I wasn't aware they would just present it to the public. I know sometimes the details can be exposed, but
they can be leaked. But it may not be true. I mean, there's a lot of rumors that go around. I mean, that's what happens with Man United. There's certain people that leak stuff out. It may be true, maybe fake. But yeah, that's what happens, man. In terms of the goal for Man United, like I was saying before, Rashford making some dynamic runs. The shot that he tested Martinez with, I thought Martinez was slacking, man, because that shot was quite tame. Yeah. And the way he parried it out, I was like, okay, that there's no danger. Then Bruno's got the energy, man. Like, props to Bruno for getting in there with that follow up, and it looked like it was deflected as well. So it looked like it wasn't a goal.
Yeah. Well done on Bruno's part for chasing up rebounds. But yeah, heavy deflection, which took it over the keeper. So, but Bruno forced that luck.
Yeah,
to happen with his endeavor to reach the rebound.
Yeah, I want to talk a bit about how he was used today in terms of he was not played in number 10. He was moving to the left, but we'll come into that. I just want to get into like some more comments in the chat. Matthew Bassett saying, losing Cristiano and not being able to replace him sufficiently is the reason we're struggling to finish teams off. That's your man, Josh. That's your man, Cristiano. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, in terms of replacing him sufficiently, that's that's just a fact, isn't it? Do you want to count Weghorst as a replacement? We've
I don't even want to see Weghorst come on again. I mean, I know in the Brighton game, we were laughing literally when we were watching Brighton. We were laughing at Weghorst was I think he won a foul and he was jeering up the crowd, getting the crowd riled up, and he was like a cheerleader, and we were actually laughing at the fact that Weghorst was celebrating winning fouls. That was ridiculous. And then when he took his penalty, I thought maybe Joshua a little bit harsh, but maybe it was true what you were saying. You were saying it lacks technique on the penalty, but I said he gave the keeper the eyes, so I was trying to give him some props.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what connection she's got with Ten Hag, with them both being Dutch.
It's the Dutch connection, yeah.
Sorry?
It's the Dutch connection. That's what it is, bro.
Yeah, clearly, he shouldn't be playing for any team in the top six, the top half of the Premier League. You could argue he's a championship level player. Yeah, he works hard, but
he came from Burnley. He came from Burnley, so that's championship level.
Yeah, that's what I see. Technically, yeah. What do you want to say about it? Technically, he's deficient, even physically. Despite his stature, he's not strong. He's not imposing. He's not dominant in the air. So, what does he really offer? Just work ethic. That's the only thing he can offer.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you what kind of striker would you like to come in? I mean, people talk about Osimhen, Kane. Are those the kind of guys you're thinking? Yeah, that out of those kind of forwards. I was also saying Vlahovic because Juventus may not get top 4, so he may be available.
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely a player that links up well. With the likes of Rashford, so Rashford can continue to thrive. Yeah. So of course, all of those strikers would be desirable, but
yeah, it just depends on like if the takeover is going to happen. We might talk a little bit about that later. Just gotta get some other comments. G Wolf saying Maguire is someone. What? Maguire is someone's wet dream. When he is on the pitch, he definitely needs to go. G Wolf, this is one of my boys from like previous streams. We hang out. We used to hang out quite a bit on Flying Pig United streams, and Maguire. We've actually done streams together as well. We did a watch along on Flying Pig United's channel. That was awesome too. But G Wolf, Maguire was your boy, and I do acknowledge you've changed your mind on him, but to say someone's wet dream, that's a big heel turn, man. So you don't even see him as a squad player then. Okay, that's good. That's good. See, this is why I respect G Wolf, because there's some people that will just stay on their favorite player, even if he's just shitting all over the place, because they don't want to be wrong about the player. They'll stay on him. So props to G Wolf for changing his mind, because Maguire, I've said it. I've trolled him on my previous streams. I've said he's probably one of them players that's going to make the stats exist where we're looking at expected mistakes per game. You know how we have expected goals? Maguire has expected mistakes. You can't have that at a top team. You can't have that at any team, really. If you're in the Premier League, it's supposed to be the best league in the world, and our captain is meant to be leading the troops. So yeah, man, he does need to go, man. Josh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you were mentioning before where we're not missing him, so that tells you something. Yeah, I'll go into the next comment. Matthew saying, I said it before, I'll say it now. Shaw is a better centre back than left back. I will say that too. What do you think, Josh?
I don't know. Obviously, we've got a small sample size with him being centre back, haven't we? But obviously, since he's played there, he has looked very impressive.
Yeah, he's pocketed Haaland in Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. That was an awesome game as well. Oh, again, I'm sure he played centre back against Barcelona. Barcelona are going to be La Liga champions, and he wasn't looking out of place there. Today, he looked good against Brighton. The sample size in terms of games is still small, but the amount of big games he showed up in at centre back, I think shows he should definitely play there for the rest of the season. I'll say that for sure. G Wolf is following up on some Ronaldo stuff. Ronaldo should never got. This is what I was saying as well. Ronaldo should never have gone on Piers Morgan and slandered the manager. That's the big one. That is a big one. It's unforgivable. And the players, he is a legend, but only in the early years since he was back. He was a bargain basement and only gone for Saudi money. Wow. I remember on Piers Morgan's show, remember what Piers Morgan was saying that Ronaldo just wants to, play football for the sake of loving football rather than going for the money. But hey, you got into desperate times. You can't slander a manager that's trying to save the club. That for me, that's what lost a lot of respect for him. Is that you're going against a manager that literally he was trying to fit in Ronaldo. There was times where he gave Ronaldo the armband as well, and then Ronaldo still went and did this disrespect. So yeah, Josh, I know you've defended your boy, and I think you said he's a Man United legend. I've kind of disagreed. I say he's like a football legend because he spent more time at Real Madrid. But going on Piers Morgan, Josh, come on, man, you can't defend that.
So you disagree that he's a Man United legend?
I don't know if he's had enough years there, man. I mean, when you're comparing him to other legends that are just committed their career, their gigs, Scholes, you know what I mean? All these guys that have the longevity, they've never wanted to go to a supposed bigger club, because that's what Ronaldo wanted. That was his dream. Go and play for Real Madrid. He gave them his best years, more years. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the way it's ended in the second tenure, I don't know if he's a legend, bro.
I think it just depends on your perspective, doesn't it? If you perceive that he needs to be at the same club for his whole career. Look at Harry Kane. I'm sure everyone will agree that he's a Tottenham legend, but maybe he ends his career with no trophies. Ronaldo brought us the Champions League, multiple Premier Leagues, won the Ballon d'Or at Man United. Yeah. If you can reach those heights with a club, it speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think with Kane though, because it's Spurs, and I think you give him how many years is he giving them now? It's over 5 seasons now. So we're talking
about a long time now. Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. I mean, with Spurs, it's because Man United is it's supposed to be the pinnacle of the division. It's you can understand why people would stay at Man United, but in terms of legacy, I mean, obviously Man United nowadays is not great. We need to get back up there. But with Spurs, you can see that trying to commit to a team that's not won trophies, that's a hard one. They'll still call him a legend because the standards at Spurs is low, isn't it? Anyone that's scoring 20 plus goals a season is going to be a legend. And the fact that he spent 5 seasons there, okay, yeah, definitely. But you can understand why he wants to leave, because Spurs, they're not on the Man United level or Real Madrid level. So you can see why he wants to leave. But with Ronaldo, I thought he could have stayed, man. Come on, man. We were winning Champions Leagues. He helped us do that. And it's did you really need to go to Madrid? Could have stayed and helped us stay at the top. We had to deal. I mean, this is not Ronaldo's fault, but we had to deal with what's his name? Is it Obertan, Michael Owen? I mean, Valencia was all right, but we had to deal with some subpar people coming in. So I just reckon he could have stayed, man. I'll go into some more comments before we're good because we're going to look into Man City's game as well. They're going back to the top of the table, but I'll go through a few more comments. I think that's Matthew Bassett speaking to G Wolf there. Cristiano had to go after the interview, but it's not being able to replace him with an adequate striker and instead replacing him without Weghorst, who, let's face it, isn't good. That's true, man. I mean, people say he runs and presses, but what's pressing when you can't even catch up the players? G Wolf saying, I agree, he is a United legend. Okay. G Wolf saying he's a United legend. All right, then. Fair enough. Everyone's going to have different, perspectives. I agree he is a United legend for the things he won for us, but for me, he has tarnished his legacy with that interview. I think that's a fair comment. I think that's diplomatic, Definitely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He has, unfortunately, somewhat tarnished his legacy at United.
Okay, so before we get into talking about Man City, and I'm going back to the top of the league, I just want to just discuss Bruno. The fact, just going back to Bruno, he's supposed to be the number 10, right? And under Ole, he was this guy. He was we played the ball through him all the time. He was getting goals and assists almost every week. And we see with Ten Hag sometimes played him attacking mid. He's even played as a holding midfielder, right mid, left mid. It's kind of weird. This is suggesting that, as we were saying before, that, Ten Hag, he needs extra players that suit his style of football. Like, if Bruno is the master number 10, I don't think you move him all over the place. I think some other people were saying he's been moved all over the place because Ten Hag believes that he can do the different jobs. I'm not so sure. If your best player can play a certain position, don't you keep him in that position? What's your thoughts on that, Josh? And people in the comments, get in your comments as well.
I don't believe he's our best player to start with. Also, in the midfield, you can play in the number 10 position, and also, in a deeper lying centre defensive midfield kind of position potentially, because he does have the passing range. In terms of him being on the wing, I don't agree with that. I don't think he should ever play on the wing. Just because he lacks the pace. Even today, a couple of times, I saw Rashford play a couple of through balls to Bruno, and as he was doing, I was like, Rashford, no, he doesn't have the pace, and he couldn't get onto the end of those balls. Obviously, Ten Hag's trying to, put these teams together despite injuries and whatnot. But yeah, he should be on the wing. I don't mind him playing in a deeper line position or as a number 10. But yeah,
good points there. I want to come back on the end of you saying the lack of pace. This is what I thought was an overall problem for the team today, and why we didn't really capitalize on the chances we had. Because Villa, I don't know what they were doing today. To be honest, they were leaving a lot of space in behind, and especially second half, they were crying out for us to punish them. Like Sancho doesn't show enough pace in behind as well. Eriksen's not going to run in behind as well. I think the only time he's done that is against Arsenal. And we know how Arsenal play an extremely high line. So, anyone was going to run in behind for them. Sabitzer, also not quick. So I think Ten Hag must be realizing that he needs some extra pace on the wings. I mean, if we had Garnacho available, he would be one that would have surely come on. He's got some pace. Always wants to beat a player as well. So yeah, definitely, we need pace in behind. I'm just trying to look at other people's comments as well. Football Power Hour, big up to you for getting in another comment. Bruno needs to be in the middle. Yeah, I mean, Josh was saying his range of passing. I think his long balls are good, especially to Rashford running them behind. But sometimes when you just need intricate passing, some 1-2s, I think he lacks it a little bit. I did see some of our players doing it in terms of little 1-2s and then doing a long ball. I think we need to get more of that balance because, like I was saying earlier, we seem to just want to get everyone in behind all the time. just long balls all the time, and then Rashford's trying to chase everything by himself. It's like we need sometimes build it up a bit like Man City, but we're gonna have to wait for extra players to come in, and it took Klopp till the third season to really get his football going. So this is why people say Ten Hag's overperforming, getting what possibly is going to be a top 3 or top 4 in the first season after we were embarrassing last season, and Klopp with his team, I think he got 8th position in the first season when he joined halfway through, and I think he got 8th again in the next season. For sure, he didn't get Champions League football in his first 2 seasons. I think that's for sure. And in the third season when he got top 4, and then we won the league after. So you can see Klopp plays, high press football. Ten Hag plays high press football. So you can see the parallels where it's going to take a lot of time for Man United to calibrate the formula properly. So I don't know if you've got any extra thoughts on the game, because I think we're going to move on to the next one. People are just getting in the different thoughts. Yeah, just looking through. Jewel saying Weggy isn't a United type player that needs to be at United, but with the Glazers not giving the money to the manager to replace Ronaldo, that is the reason we had to get loan deals. So for me, I don't blame Weggy. Yeah, this is why we need the whole structure to change. That is for sure, man. So let's go on to the Man City game. Wow, I mean, you were watching it a little bit, Josh. What were your thoughts on Man City going back to the top of the league after Arsenal had been leading that race for 3/4 of the season? They've been at the top.
Yeah, so I saw a stat earlier. Days spent at the top of the table. I think Arsenal had 274, Man City 12. So a crazy kind of disparity in terms of that. Yeah, Man City today did what they needed to do. They got the win. Haaland penalty.
Again, that's his 50th goal, isn't it? 50th goal for the season.
Yeah. He's equaled the all-time record for Premier League goals with Andy Cole and Alan Shearer. Obviously, he's got quite a few more games to have that record outright, most goals ever in the Premier League. Alvarez, would I call it a wonder goal? Probably not, but a great strike. Great strike.
I thought that was a wonder goal. I just saw it on Twitter. I was like,
great strike.
Goal. Huh?
Yeah. Great strike, great goal. Did what they needed to do, sort out the game, monopolized possession. So seems like they're just ambling towards the title now. They've got a far easier run-in than Arsenal. Arsenal have yet to play. They need to play Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea are poor this season, but who knows what could happen. Brighton, I believe, Newcastle. So they've got many potential obstacles in their way. Man City seem to have a clear path to retain the title. So Arsenal, they've choked horribly. Unfortunately, they have choked horribly.
Their fans are saying they've not choked. Do you know what a lot of these Arsenal fans are doing? It's like their team has stepped up to the plate of wanting to do a title race, right? Yeah. And then, okay, we acknowledge they've overperformed. But then once you're at the top for that record amount of time, did you say 274?
Yeah, 274 days to Man City's 12.
That is crazy. That's crazy, yeah. So if you're at the top for that long, yeah, and then at one point you've had an 8-point lead. At times you were 2-0 up at Anfield, where if your manager knows how to see out results, and sometimes, just like Jose in his prime, park the bus. No matter how bad the football looks, because it's a pressure game, you park the bus, you frustrate them, you see out the 2-0. At West Ham, 2-0. 2-0 up. I think 2-0 up again, weren't they?
I'm not sure with West Ham. Southampton as well.
So if you can't beat bottom of the league, at your own house, this Arsenal were in prime position to keep their lead, and they've not done it. I would say if they weren't going up 2-0 in those games, and then drawing to bottom of the league, I would say that you've not bottled it. But they were in the power position of keeping their lead. They had it in their control, and then they didn't do it. So what else do you call that? It's bottling it.
Yeah, anyone that says they've not bottled it, they're either an Arsenal fan or in denial about it, because clearly they have. If you're in first position for that long, the vast majority of the season, and then you let it slip away, clearly it's the pressure that's got to them. Obviously, they're not used to being in this position. Even though they've signed Zinchenko and Jesus fringe players at City, doesn't mean the whole squad's going to have a winning mentality. So yeah, obviously the pressure's got to them. Still a good season for them. When they look back at it,
it's still an awesome season.
Exactly.
I mean,
but they've chosen the title, and that's just facts.
That objectively, you look at it on paper, you look at it when you've watched the games, because we all saw that the way that Arsenal played against Man City at the Etihad, it was pathetic. I would say for a challenger, that was not how you show up. No aggression. They were doing the formula in terms of trying to play out from the back, but there was no passion. I didn't see the energy. It's like they just rolled over. It's like they were a gazelle. I've said that in my waffling streams. They were a gazelle, and Man City was the lion that just gripped them up, got them by the neck, and Arsenal just went out with a whimper. Went out with a whimper and got beaten. Yeah, the likes of Liverpool. We've seen when Liverpool were chasing Man City, the games they used to play, they had quite a couple of 2-2 draws, where even at the Etihad, Liverpool would go for the neck. Both teams would play a high press, then meet in the middle and slug it out like, rock'em sock'em robots, man, and see who's there still standing. Arsenal was men against boys. Arsenal just went, okay, here, Man City, you're more experienced. Just take it. There's no way, that you lose at home to Man City 3-1, lose 4-1 at the Etihad, and then you're going to win the league. Arsenal, they've just capitulated, man. They have capitulated. But I'm going to go through a few more comments and get people to get into your questions as well, man. Do you think Man City have got the title now? Like, psychologically, it looks like they've got it, because Arsenal, they've only just recovered from like not getting top 4 last season. They bottled that. So what makes them think they can just win the league? It's like way too ahead of schedule. Bart is saying, will Man City win in the treble and completing a 3-peat eclipse 99 and the 08 side? See, Bart he's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
and I was, I want to be fair and go through everyone's comments, but I knew Bart was going to come up with something that's a very challenging comment, and I don't want to answer this, man, because I don't want to think about Man City winning this treble. Obviously, they've not won it yet. With Man United, we've got them in the FA Cup final. We have to stop them somehow. I don't know how we do it. I mean, we've beaten them at Old Trafford with some counter-attacking, and that's when we had Luke Shaw playing centre-back as well. So, I mean, Lindelof's on form. Maybe we can keep him out, counter-attack with Rashford on the counter-attack. But if... I don't even want to answer this. If Man City win the treble, is it better than 99? Is it better than 99? And the 08 side? I'll say maybe it matches what we've done. Maybe. Because we'll have to go into all the different nuances of both seasons. And to be honest, I don't have my stats up to see which is a better season, So that's a very hard question. But until Man City do it, I don't want to discuss this. So, Bart, with respect, I would say we're going to wait. We're going to wait till it happens to discuss it, yeah? Bart, with the hard questions here. Yo, big up to Big T getting in here. City won't do it in the manner we did. I mean, especially the Champions League, the way we left it to last minute to get that win. I mean, you could say maybe we've won our treble with better drama. I don't know. Maybe Man City will win it with like having better stats in the league, things like that. There's just too many different nuances, man. Too many different nuances. And also, we got to remember when Man United were winning that Champions League, we had the group of death in the 99 season. We had Bayern Munich, Barcelona in the group phase. I don't think Man City had a group of death when they were qualifying. I'm not sure they did. So this is what I'm talking about. There's different nuances. We got to look at the teams that have been beaten to get this treble. So yeah, it's a big one. Just going to go through a few more comments. Bart saying Arsenal fans on YouTube were so smug, including Robbie. I'm gutted for them. Why? Arsenal should be your rivals as well at Liverpool, Bart. Why are you feeling sorry for them? They were all gassing it up, man. They were all talking a big game. So we shouldn't be gutted for them. We shouldn't be gutted. They were acting like they were going to take the league, and they've been humbled. This was always going to happen with the youngest manager, youngest squad. This was always going to happen where they were going to bottle it. I've done my trolling, in my previous videos. I was saying they were going to do what they did in 2007. They had, I think it was a 5-point lead over, I don't know if it was Man United or whatever. Man United won it that season, but they had a 5-point lead. They went and drew to Birmingham. And they had a young squad that season too. Started bottling everything. I think they won 5 out of the last 11 games. And I think they ended up coming third from leading by 5 points at the top. Also, I think in the 2003 season, I don't know if you remember this, Josh, where Man United at one point were 8 points behind Arsenal. And we chased them down to win the league. Arsenal have the bottling gene. And I would love for Banter FC to come back. I would love that. But yeah, I just... To conclude the stream, though, man, Josh, you were saying Man City, it looks like they have like a better run of fixtures to the title, yeah? But don't you think they might be distracted by Champions League and FA Cup?
I think Arsenal will drop more points. So, yeah, based on that, I think they'll have no issue. If Arsenal were to win every game, who knows, after a Champions League game against Madrid, potentially they could slip up. But I think Arsenal will drop more points. And with that being said, I just don't see a way back for them.
Okay, so you did run
through the got a very deep squad as well, Eddie. A very deep squad.
Yeah.
Obviously they've been taken to court over, haven't they? Breaking the financial fair play rules. So
yeah. And we might see, what I would love, and people have said it before. People are upset, like if Man City do this 3-peat with the leagues, treble, and then the charges that they've been put up on, the 100 alleged violations, if that comes into play, and then they're stripped of the league, how beautiful would that be? They think they've matched Sir Alex Ferguson's triumphs, and then they have to, get the points deduction and maybe get stripped of the league. That would be beautiful. I'll be drinking the Man City tears, man.
Yeah, I don't think you can compare their feats to Sir Alex's. Yeah, just because of the they spent billions, haven't they? So they don't earn or generate anywhere near the kind of revenue that they somehow spend. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, the football gods can intervene with the Champions League and alongside Madrid. We'll see with the FA Cup final. But hopefully, us and Madrid can stop them from this treble.
We need to, man. We have to do it, man. For once, we have the power in our hands to stop a rival. There's been too many seasons on the Ole where we're just, backseat drivers. We can't control anything. But we're in the driving seat to try and sabotage these guys. Just want to honor some more comments. Big T saying it's a good season for Arsenal. They have surpassed their expectations. I don't think that their fans won't see it. They'll be so emotional over the fact they were leading the race for such a long time. I don't know if they will be happy with the way their football formula has gone forward to leapfrog them from a UEFA Champions League qualification race to a title race. I don't know. I think they will have to wait a bit for the emotions to calm down for them to see that. But I agree with that, Big T. Definitely. Big up to MUFC Realist TV getting in here. I was on his channel a few days ago. Big up to Ragnick for leaving the press behind. We pressed Emery's shorts. Emery, That's a good one. Emery, I don't know if he got schooled today, but he's trying to get top four with Villa, and it's like he should behave himself basically, and it's good that he was beaten today. And Villa shouldn't be in no UEFA Champions League race. Should leave it to the big boys, leave it to the likes of us at Man United, Newcastle. I think they came back. They won. I think they were losing to Southampton. I think they won 3-1. So we've got to definitely get that third place back from Newcastle. Because, by the way, Isak, man. What do you think of Isak, Josh? I mean, do you see his assist?
Yeah, he's
in the game before this one. I think it was against Brighton. I forgot. But it was like the one where he was dribbling past like three players.
Isak's a scary player. I first heard of Isak. I believe he played for Dortmund, wasn't it, for quite a few years ago? He came on the scene.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. So I heard about him a few years ago, and I saw he had the attributes, and it was just about whether he fulfilled that potential, and he's starting to do so. Yeah, scary player. Searing pace, footwork, finishing ability, football IQ as well, which is definitely important. Understands decision making in vital moments. But yeah, definitely a scary player, and unfortunately, he's in the hands of Newcastle. Moving forward, we'll see if he stays there. If he continues to improve, who knows? What kind of club could come in for him? Like Madrid, Barca. Yeah. But yeah, they're definitely a scary player for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's the kind of player that we should have been getting. I would say that. But saying Isak would have been perfect for Man United. He was okay-ish for Dortmund, but he really found himself in Spain. And then Big T talking about Weghorst again. Imagine the scenes if Weghorst comes on and gets an injury time winner to stop City's treble. I mean, miracles do happen.
An instant legend if he does that.
What, above Ronaldo?
I won't take the side out with the response, Eddie.
Yeah, I need to behave myself with comments like that. But we should have the likes of Isak, and then Newcastle should have the likes of Weghorst. It's weird what's happened, and it all goes back to the bad structure at Man United, where Ronaldo was not moved on quick enough for us to get in like a proper forward. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening with the takeover. I've not really done research on that. Josh, I know you've not really been looking into that too, but if Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who wants to buy half of the club, yeah, and then keep the Glazers on, keep Avram and Joel on, yeah. So even if Ratcliffe has like more shares, his shares won't be worth as much as the Glazers. The Glazers still have the higher voting power, or they have more clout to make decisions still, even if they're going to have like a minority stake. So it's like, what is the point of Jim coming in? I think he will get more investment money, but you won't be able to call the shots. So, and I heard that he's a front runner to go with this little takeover, but it's not a full takeover. So what's the point then? There'll be more money, but then the Glazer structure will still be there. So they'll probably waste money again, like they wasted 80 million on Maguire, and like they wanted to do with Longstaff. Longstaff, at one point, I think it's Matty Longstaff, he was being rumored to come in for 50 million. I don't want to keep seeing this. So, yeah, I mean, we have to see the likes of Sheikh Jassim, who wants to do the full takeover, come in. And I've heard these people in Qatar, they have high standards. They like the football, and he would renovate or reform the structure at Man United. So that's what we need to have. We can't have the likes of John Murtough still there, Darren Fletcher learning on the job. The likes of Ralph Ragnick was not allowed to stay because of the Glazers. They got butthurt because Ragnick was exposing their structure in press conferences. They didn't listen to their advice. So it's like they have to go. They have to go. So, yeah, I mean, Josh, I'm sure you've heard of like the Qataris possibly coming in. Do you think that they're gonna put up the money to take over the club completely, or do you think we'll see some kind of partial takeover where these parasites, the Glazers, we gotta call them that because That's what they've done. They've got the Man United still in debt. Do you see them still staying?
I don't think there's a way to predict it. Obviously, if someone meets the asking price, it could be a complete takeover. But obviously, we don't want the Glazers in control. We want someone that listens to what the fans want, and someone that just cares about football, because the Glazers, clearly they don't care about the team and the success of the team. They'll just throw the money at the problem. So yeah, hopefully we get a replacement, definitely, especially considering the last few years since Felix left.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm just gonna go for the last few comments and then we're gonna wrap it up. It's been a good stream. I want to say thanks to Josh for sparing your time. I know you're a little bit unwell, but you've added some good content. Big T, I remember talking to my man about Weghorst ages ago. He's a Weghorst fan.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Big T. I don't think it's gonna happen. And if Weghorst gets some injury time winner to beat City and stop the treble, I'm still wanting him to go. I'm sorry. We can't just look at one moment. That's great. It's like next season, we're going to need loads of moments, especially if we're going to be, playing well in the Champions League. I mean, do we see Weghorst doing anything against the likes of Real Madrid or a PSG? Come on, man. We've got to think far ahead, Mr. T. Big up to Aaron for getting in here. Big up Eddie and Josh. Thanks for getting in here. Hope everyone is hit the likes. Thank you for sharing your time, or sparing your time, I should say. We're going to wrap up in a bit. Big T is also saying it's 50% takeover to start. He will buy the other shares as he goes along. He will have first refusal on the other shares in a contract. I don't know if I trust that, though. I don't know. Because, it's up to the Glazers if they sell the rest of the shares. Maybe the Glazers think we're going to stay on as, some shareholders that stay behind the scenes and pull the puppeteer strings, We've got to remember, Joel Glazer was meant to be chairing the Super League. And we know there's still ideas for the Super League to come back. And that's going to be a ton of money if they get that going. So I don't trust them to stay and, be with Jim. They may placate what Jim's trying to do and say, hey, just stay on your 50%. We'll work together. And then we'll just see the Glazers keep doing what they're doing with their parasitic structure. So, yeah, I'm not trusting that. And, yeah, Bart saying it was actually Sean Longstaff that was rumored for 50 million, not Matty. I always get them guys mixed up. Yeah, Bart also said Bart's just messing about now. If Maguire stops their treble, would he become a legend? I mean, how would he do that? How would he? Unless he defends and scores in the final as well. But yeah, that's not going to happen. Surely we see Lindelof and Shaw start. Maybe we get some guys that are injured to come back in. Maybe a Varane comes back in. But yeah, we're going to see. But yeah, everyone in the comments, thanks for getting in here. Bart, Big T, Aaron, MUFC, Realist TV, Football Power Hour, Matthew Bassett, G Wolf. Thanks for getting in all your interesting comments. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. Got to say special thank you to my man Josh, even though he was ill, spared the time for a friend to come on and chat some waffle. Thank you, Josh. And
thank you, Eddie. Thanks for having me on. Thank you guys in the comments for tuning in.
Cool. And can anyone follow you? Are you getting on Twitter? Are you anywhere where people can follow?
Not as of yet.
Cool. Maybe after this, you get that pretty face online so people can follow and hear your ball knowledge, bro.
maybe.
Cool. We're gonna end it there. Thanks to everyone. Hit the like, subscribe, and peace.